Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome back to our Power Hour. So we're going to start lying on our backs today. So if you want to make your way down to your back, and we'll just have the kind of knees bent, feet wide, and then knees just knocking into each other. And let's just place our hands just on our stomach, on our belly to begin with. And just start to settle in there. I'll just explain a little bit about the class tonight while you relax down. So the usual kind of format tonight will be doing a little bit of warm up and then coming into a bit of a flow and then a nice cool down. There isn't a peak pose as such today that we've done the last couple of sessions. We're going to be focusing on our chaturanga dandasana pose today, which is it's like a transition pose almost from when we do our vinyasas. I'll explain a bit more about it when we do it, but it's quite a strong pose. It's quite a lot of upper body strength, so kind of arms, backs of shoulders, and lots of core strength. So we'll be doing lots of core exercises. And yeah, just really focusing on our kind of vinyasa transition when we do it. As always, the vinyasas are optional, so if you do have like a niggly shoulder or if it does get a bit too much, you can skip the vinyasas. You can rest in child's pose, you can come straight up to your downward dog. Please feel free just to take that decision. And there are always options to bring your knees down to the mat to kind of lower down. So we're just working up the strength to do our chaturanga. We're working on our alignment to be able to do it well. So just to have that in mind, as I know shoulders can be a little bit niggly. So be kind to yourself, be gentle, be compassionate, and yeah, we'll get started. So everybody lying down on their backs. Settling in, focusing on you, on your body. Maybe just bringing your attention to your breathing, maybe not changing your breathing just yet, just bringing your awareness to your breath. And just noticing your inhales, your exhales. And then taking a slightly longer inhale, coupled with a slightly longer exhale, and just slowly start to deepen your breathing. As we do so, just feeling the body soften, relax, kind of melt down into the earth, noticing the points of contact where your body is touching the earth, the floor. And noticing where you might be holding any tension, so maybe around your face, your neck, around your belly area. Just seeing if we can soften, if we can let go, just in this first few moments of the class. Just really paying attention to your body, how it is feeling. And if you have been doing some deep breathing, maybe just letting the breathing return back to normal. And then we'll bring our arms into a cactus shape. So bring your elbows in line with your shoulders, fingertips kind of pointing back and away from you. Just starting to open up the chest, releasing the shoulder blades down into the mat. And then we'll start to just wave the knees from side to side. So dropping the knees over to the left, then up and over to the right. Just bringing some movement into the hip area, into the kind of lower back area. Keeping the feet nice and wide. Okay, bringing your knees to center. We'll bring the knees into the chest, squeeze the knees in, and then maybe bring your head up to meet your knees. So curl yourself up into a tight little ball. And then release the head back down. Bring the knees flat to the mat. Sorry, the feet flat to the mat. Nice and close to your sit bones. We're going to come into our bridge. So feet hip distance apart, knees the same distance apart, hands down by your side. And first of all, we're just going to really concentrate on getting our pelvic tilt. So kind of just lifting up your tailbone, your sacrum up off the floor, and then lowering it back down. So you can just find a really kind of subtle movement just in your pelvic area. And that's starting to work your kind of very lower core muscles or your pelvic floor muscles. So just working that bit first. And then nice and slowly, let's tilt our pelvis, then peel our spine up off the mat, all the way up onto our shoulders. Strong through the legs. And then lowering back down nice and slowly. Okay, this time let's bring our arms with us. So as we tilt our pelvis, peel our spine, we're going to float our arms up to the ceiling and then all the way back and over our head as we lift our upper back up off the floor. And then as we lower down, just floating the arms all the way back down. So trying to kind of move our arms in line with our spine. And again, peeling up off the floor, floating the arms up and back. And then exhaling, nice, slowly floating down. Okay, one more time, let's peel up. Bringing the arms with us, let's pause in our bridge here. For a little optional extra, we're going to come up onto our toes. So lifting the heels up off the floor, lifting the hips up nice and high. Feel that engagement through the legs. Breathing. And then lowering the heels. Lowering the spine, bringing the arms back down with us. Good. Okay, bringing the knees into the chest. So curling up into your little ball. Squeezing the knees in. Okay, another little core exercise here. We're going to bring our hands underneath our knees, so just kind of into the crease of your knees. We can work with our legs bent or straight, completely up to you. But if you have tight hamstrings, I would recommend bent legs. And we're just going to find that little rocking motion. Again, just lifting up our kind of tailbone, our sacrum up off the floor. And we can use our hands just to help kind of rock our knees towards your chest. Really engaging the core as you do so. Yes. Okay. And adding a little bit. We're going to rock up and then pause as we lower the legs, straighten the legs so our hips are on the floor. Our legs are pointing out and away from us, pausing here. Then we're going to bend the knees back in, rock up, lower down, and then pause, straighten out the legs, maybe bringing them a little bit lower. And again, rocking up, lowering down, straightening the legs, holding them, pointing away from you. So we're kind of lowering closer and closer to the floor as we do this. So keep going, just like rocking up, bending your knees, and straightening, lengthening, and lowering. Obviously, it gets harder the lower your legs come to the floor. So see if you can maybe hold there a little bit longer. And then eventually, when we come to the floor, letting the legs just rest, having a little rest on the floor. And then we're going to work our way back up the same way we came down. So when you are ready, bending the knees into the chest, finding that little rock, and then lengthening your legs, pointing your toes away, pausing, and then finding that little rock again. And then bringing your legs just higher and higher. Really engaging your core here. Whew. Good. And then eventually, when your legs have come up high enough, just bringing your knees back into your chest, having a little squeeze. And then we're going to rock our way up to seated, which should be slightly easier now that we've warmed up that part of our core. So coming into our cross-legged position, finding our length through our spine, sitting up nice and tall, using all those core muscles to really lift you up out of your hips. Let's just warm up our neck and shoulders. So let's take our neck stretches Just semicircling your chin down to your chest and kind of just rocking from side to side, pausing where you might need to, where you might have some tension in your neck. Just moving intuitively. And then slowly bringing your head back up to center. Coming into our shoulders, so taking some nice big shoulder rolls. We're doing a little bit of work on the shoulders today, so making sure they're nice and limber, maybe kind of moving one, then the other. It's really finding that full range of movement. Good, okay, letting the shoulders roll back and down. Let's bring the arms out in front of us, opening up the arms, squeezing the shoulder blades together behind you, and then folding in one arm over the other, stretching out the top of your back, maybe coming into a little curved spine. And then again, opening up the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then closing, bringing the other arm on top, trying to alternate which arm you bring on top as you come in for your hug. And again, opening and closing. Just finding your flow with it in your own time, taking a few more rounds. Good. Okay. And then coming back to center, warming up our wrists a little. So just taking some wrist circles, really working into the wrists. Clasping our hands, let's push the palms away from us. It's kind of opening up the hands. And then bringing it back to center. Let's bring one arm kind of up, one arm down. So making right angles with our wrists. So stretching out the top part of one wrist and the underside of the other. And then switching over. And again. And then taking some more circles, maybe clasping the hands this time, doing our little figure of 8. Good, okay. Shaking out the wrists, shaking out the arms, shaking out the shoulders. We're going to come through to our child's pose. So just rolling over onto your knees, bringing the knees nice and wide, sitting back on their heels, walking the hands out in front of us, relaxing down into our child's pose. And let's try and relax down the shoulders here as well. So finding a nice bend in the arms. Always having a support for your head if you need it, a block or a cushion. Just so there's no strain on the neck. And when you're ready, just relaxing down, taking some nice deep breaths here. Releasing into the hips, releasing around the shoulders, around the neck, around the core area. And then just slowly lifting our head up, we're going to take our right arm and just thread it through underneath our left armpit. And then lowering our right arm back down onto the floor. So here, try and encourage that left armpit to stay kind of melting down towards the earth. So we're not kind of lifting up that left arm. We want that left arm to stay heavy. So we get a nice little stretch across the back of the shoulder blades. Breathing here. And then slowly bring that right arm back through to center, and same on the other side. Just threading that left arm through underneath the right armpit. Letting your head just rest down on the mat and just encouraging that right shoulder just to keep melting down towards the mat. Breathing here, nice deep breaths. Good, okay, bringing that left arm back through. Coming through center, we're going to walk our hands back towards us, coming so we're sitting on our heels. Clasping our hands in front of us, and then reaching forward with our knuckles. Feel like someone's pulling your knuckles away from you. So coming into the curve of your spine, stretching out the back of the shoulders. And then slowly lengthening up, bringing the arms up and overhead, keeping the spine tall, turning the palms the other way, so palms facing up towards the ceiling. Bringing the shoulders away from the ears, just watching you're not kind of bending into your lower back. So lengthening the tailbone down towards the spine, towards the floor, sorry. Then bringing our arms down through our cactus position, squeezing the shoulder blades together all the way down, clasping the hands behind you, opening up the chest, straightening the arms if we can. And releasing. We'll do that one more time. So clasping the hands in front of you, pointing the knuckles away from you, stretching out your back, curving into the spine. And then slowly lifting up, engaging your core, turning the palms up skyward, straightening the arms if we can, lowering the shoulders away from the ears, and then releasing, coming down through our cactus arms, all the way down, clasping behind us, and opening up the chest. Okay, releasing. Coming through onto all fours, so bringing our hands underneath our shoulders, just bringing our knees in slightly so they are hip distance apart. Let's take a couple of cat-cows just to keep loosening up the spine. So inhaling, looking forward, belly dips down, and exhaling, curving up the other way. Just finding your movement, finding your breath, finding your flow. And then finding our neutral spine. So finding your flat back. Again, engaging the core, lengthening the tailbone away from you. Pulling the belly button back towards the spine. Let's extend out our left leg. So keeping the toes tucked under, just stretching out the back of the leg to begin with. Pushing away with the left heel. And then we're going to extend out the right hand, keeping the right hand just touching the floor for now. So we want the palm facing inwards, so just your little pinky finger touching the floor. And then nice and slowly, we're going to raise the left leg and the right arm just up to hip height, shoulder height. And then we're going to bring the leg out to the side and the arm out to the other side. So trying to retain that height, bring it back to center, and then lower back down to the ground. We're going to do that 2 more times. So lifting up, out to the side, so the arm comes to the right, the leg comes to the left, back to center, and down. And again, up we go, out to the side, back to center, and down, bringing it back to all fours. Okay, other side. So let's extend out the right leg, tucking the right toes under, finding a bit of space in the back of the leg first, and then reaching out our left hand, so our left little pinky is on the floor, palm facing inwards. Slowly raising up, extending out through the left fingertips, extending out through that back heel, and then the leg comes out to the right, the arm out to the left, and then slowly back to center, down to the floor, and again up, to the side, back to center, and down. One more time, up, to the side, back to center, and down. Good, back to all fours. Okay, let's tuck our toes under, lifting up our hips nice and high. Let's come into our down dog, paddling out the legs, lengthening through the spine, lifting the hips up nice and high, bending the knees if you need to. Relaxing the head, relaxing the neck. And then let's take our weight forward into our plank position. So shoulders over wrists, lowering the hips. And then everybody, let's lower our knees down to the ground. And we're going to take 3 little press ups. But as we come down, let's squeeze our elbows in and our chest almost comes forward over our hands. And then we push back up. So this is working towards our chaturanga. We want to come forward over our hands and up. And again, and up. Tuck the toes under, hips come back. Let's lift up into our downward facing dog. Okay, we'll do that one more time, rolling forward into our plank, lowering the knees down, and let's keep that kind of strength in the torso. So keeping our body aligned. As we lower down into our little press up, bringing the chest forward and pushing up. And again, coming down and then up. And again, down, pushing up. And this time we'll come all the way down to the mat. So lowering down nice and slowly all the way down. So we are on the mat. Okay, strengthening up the legs. So pushing into the mat with the tops of our feet. Kneecaps lifted, so really strong through the legs here, engaged through the legs. Let's bring our arms into our cactus position. So elbows in line with shoulders, fingertips pointing forward. Okay, slowly let's peel our chest up off the mat, lifting our arms with us, holding here. And then lowering back down. Just turning your head to the side, just resting your cheek on the mat. And again, bringing our head to center, slowly lifting up your chest, lifting up your arms, holding here. Strong through the legs, remember, keeping the tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. And then lowering down, maybe turning the head to the other side, just resting your cheek down, having a little break. And again, bringing our head to center. Let's peel up our chest, peel up our arms. This time, let's lift up our legs as well, pointing away with our toes. And we're going to straighten out our arms to the sides and then bring our arms so our fingers are pointing away behind us. We're coming into our locust position. Feel like someone's pulling on your hands, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and relax, coming down to the mat. Maybe giving your hips a little shake from side to side, releasing the shoulders. Okay, when we're ready, bringing our hands back underneath our shoulders, let's push up into our down dog. So either coming up through our plank or hands and knees, and then lifting up our hips nice and high. Stretching out our spine, lifting the hips up high, letting the head relax, so maybe giving our head a little shake. Pushing down through the hands, straighten the arms. And then looking forward, let's walk or step or hop up to the front of the mat, coming in through our ragdoll. So let's hold on to our opposite elbows. Let's take a sway from side to side. A nice deep bend in the knees here. So really kind of squatting into the legs, releasing the lower back. Releasing the hands down to the mat, uncurling all the way up to standing. Nice and slowly, when you get there, let's reach the hands up to the sky. Nice big inhale and exhale. Hands come into our prayer position, Tadasana. Sweeping the arms down, up to the sky. Exhaling down, forward fold. Let's inhale into our halfway lift. And bringing the hands down to the mat, stepping back into our plank, stepping both legs back. Lowering the knees down, let's squeeze the elbows in, lowering down. So this is our first stage of our kind of chaturanga prep. So just squeezing those elbows in all the way down to the mat. Inhaling into our back bend, so maybe just a cobra, peeling the chest off. Exhaling down, pushing up through hands and knees, up into our downward dog. So that is kind of our first level of working up for our chaturanga strength there in our arms. So please feel free to stick to that level when we're doing our vinyasas later in the session. Second level, let's bring ourselves forward into our full plank position. So again, squeezing the elbows in, we're going to lower down all the way to the mat. Squeezing the elbows in, keeping the body nice and firm all the way down. The whole body reaches the mat at the same time. And again, coming into our back bend, maybe our cobra, lowering down, pushing up into our downward facing dog. Always an option to come all the way down to the floor. And then our third level, let's come forward into our plank. Squeezing the elbows in, let's lower down, but this time we're not going to come to the floor, just to our elbow height. And then we're going to push up into our back bend from there. The only points of contact with the floor here are our hands and our feet. This is our upward facing dog. And then from here, we can flip the toes over and lift straight up into our downward dog. So lots of options, lots of levels for our vinyasas. Just see how you go throughout the class. Take your option. Have a little play around with the others, see how you go. Okay, we're going to step forward, walk forward up to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Fold forward, exhale. And then inhaling, sweeping the arms up to standing. And coming down to our Tadasana. Taking a moment here. Focusing on our breathing, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Nice and strong through the legs, grounding down through the feet. And taking a big inhale, sweeping the arms up to the sky. And then exhale, coming down through our cactus. So let's squeeze the elbows together behind us, all the way down. Pointing the hands back and away from us. So really squeezing the shoulder blades together. Feel like someone's pulling your arms down. So shoulders are kind of really pulling down away from the ears. And then bringing the arms back down by your sides. And then hinging at the elbow. Let's feel like we're pushing away, pushing against a wall. So we want a right angle in our elbow here. This is our chaturanga position, but stood up. So this is our full chaturanga. So really strong through the legs, shoulders back and down, really strong through the arms, but our body wants to be in line with our upper arms here. So just kind of have that image in your head as you're coming through the pose. It might help a little bit. Okay, relaxing the hands down, sweeping up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, stepping back into our plank. Vinyasa, your choice of level. So either lowering the knees or coming down. Full plank, coming to the mat or not. Coming into your back bend. Lifting up into your downward facing dog. Okay, into our flow. So lifting up the right leg, three-legged dog. Bringing the right knee to the right elbow. Back into our three-legged dog. And then stepping forward with that right leg. Nice big step forward, lowering the back leg down to the ground, coming into our low lunge. Sweeping up with the arms. Just making sure that front foot's underneath that front knee. Strong through the legs, bringing our arms down into our cactus, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then we're going to bring the arms in front, so feel like you're squeezing a big beach ball in front of you, and then opening, and then squeezing, opening, back in front. This time we're going to bring the left arm over the right. We can either bring our hands onto our shoulders here, or come into our eagle arms. So your choice. Tucking that back foot under, we're going to push up through our high lunge, straightening up the legs, At the same time, lifting those elbows up and away from us. Pivoting on the back foot, bending into the front knee, unraveling the arms, coming into our warrior two. Reaching out through our hands, strong through the legs. Cartwheeling the arms down, taking your vinyasa. Meeting in our downward facing dog when you're ready. Left hand side, so three-legged dog, left leg high, left knee to left elbow, left leg high, stepping the left leg forward, coming into our low lunge, left side. Releasing the shoulders away from the ears, reaching up through the fingertips, coming down through our cactus, coming into our little cactus flow. So squeezing the shoulder blades together and then squeezing your beach ball. Opening and squeezing. This time we'll bring the right elbow over the left. Again, we can just hold on to our shoulders, or we can come into our eagle arms, wrapping the hands around, tucking that back toe under, powering up through the legs, straightening that front leg, straightening the back leg, elbows up and away from us. Bending into the front knee, pivoting on the back foot, unraveling the arms into our warrior two. Strong straight back leg, just making sure that front knee is tracking over the front foot, arms at shoulder height. Cartwheeling down, stepping back to our plank and taking your vinyasa. Okay, right leg high, three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow. Right leg high, step forward, low lunge. Sweeping the arms up. Coming through our cactus. Squeezing the shoulder blades together as we open up the chest, then squeezing in front. 3 times, open, close, and again. Bringing the left elbow on top of the right, finding your arm variation, powering up through the legs, straightening both legs, finding your balance. Bending into the front knee, pivoting on the back foot, unraveling into our warrior two. Reverse warrior, so right hand comes up and over. Let's bring our left arm kind of to the small of our back, and it can maybe even snake round towards our front hip. Back into our side angle. So right arm can come to our right thigh or bringing your hand down onto the floor, your choice. Lifting up our right hand, reaching up. So good core exercise. Feel like, again, you're holding a big beach ball here. And then bringing the left hand down to the mat, reaching up with the right fingertips, coming into our twisted lunge. Right hand comes down, take your vinyasa. Remember, you can bring the knees down to lower down to the mat, take a cobra, a baby cobra, an upward dog, choice of back bends, whatever feels good for you. Breathing in your down dog when you get there. Left hand side, left leg high, left knee to left elbow, left leg high, stepping forward, low lunge. Reaching the arms up first of all, and coming down through our cactus, opening the chest, squeezing the beach ball, opening the chest, squeezing the beach ball. One more. Then it becomes right arm over left, finding your arm variation, tucking the back toe under, powering up through the legs, straightening the legs, lifting those elbows up and away. Bending into the front knee, pivoting on the back foot, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle pose. Really reaching out through those right fingertips, straightening that back leg. And then let's lift our left arm up parallel with our right arm, holding that ball. And then bringing the right hand down, pivoting on that back foot, left fingertips up to the sky. Bringing the left hand down, stepping back to our plank, taking your vinyasa. Breathing in your down dog, maybe giving your legs a little paddle out. Remember, you can rest in child's pose if you need. Right leg high. Right knee to right elbow. Right leg high. Stepping it forward. Low lunge. Sweeping the arms up. Down through our cactus, opening the chest, squeezing our beach ball. Bringing our left elbow over our right, finding our eagle arms or holding onto our shoulders, powering up through the legs. Straightening the legs, strong straight legs here. Bending into the front knee, pivoting on the back foot, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Lifting that right arm up, holding onto that beach ball. And then twisting that left hand down to the mat. Up with the right fingertips. Strong and straight through that back leg. Powering up through the legs, coming into our twist. So right arm back, left arm forward. And then cartwheeling the arms. The right arm comes down to the front, left arm up to the back into our warrior two. Let's straighten up the front leg, reach the arms up towards the sky. And then bending back into the front leg, arms come all the way down, clasping the arms behind us, straightening out the hands. The arms, coming into our humble warrior. So let's bow our chest, inside our front leg, letting the arms come up and overhead, relaxing the head down. Breathing here. And slowly lifting yourself up. Unclasping the hands, leaving the left hand, just resting on the small of your back, coming back into your reverse warrior. And then cartwheeling the arms down and over, stepping back to our plank vinyasa. Taking a couple of breaths in our down dog. Left hand side, let's reach that left leg up and back. Left knee to left elbow. Left leg high, stepping it forward, low lunge. Cactus arms, open the chest and flow it forward. Open the chest, squeeze. Open, right arm over left. Tuck that back toe under, power up through the legs. Straightening both the legs. Bending into the front leg, pivoting on the back, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Using our core strength, lifting up that left arm, holding onto our big beach ball. And then bringing the right hand down to the mat, keeping that left hand high, coming into our twisted lunge. Powering up through the legs, finding our twist, right arm forward, left arm back. Cartwheeling the arms, left arm down and forward, right arm up and back, finding our warrior two. Straightening up the front leg, reaching up to the sky. And then bending back into the front knee, bringing the arms all the way down, clasping behind us. Trying to straighten the arms if we can, opening up the chest, and then bowing down inside that front knee into our humble warrior. Breathing here, strong through those legs. Slowly bringing yourself up, unclasping the hands, leaving the right hand where it is, up and over with our left. And then cartwheeling all the way down, stepping back into our plank vinyasa. Breathing in our down dog. Taking our gaze forward, stepping or hopping up to the front of the mat, coming into our halfway lift, reaching forward with the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold, letting the head hang heavy. Inhaling, let's sweep our arms all the way up to the ceiling. And exhaling, Tadasana. Maybe just giving the shoulders a little roll here. Pausing, breathing. We're going to take one more sun salutation down to come through to seated. So making our chaturanga the best one of the session so far. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down on the mat, stepping back to your plank, taking your vinyasa, nice and strong. Working that core, working those arms, coming into your back bend, and then lifting the hips up into our downward facing dog. Nice deep breaths here, last down dog, really reaching up with the hips, pushing down through the hands, strong through the shoulders. And then we'll step forward into seating, so just bring one foot forward, then the other, coming into our cross-legged position. Reaching up through the crown of the head, finding that length through the spine. We'll just take a couple of twists just to loosen up our back, loosen up our core area. So as we inhale, let's reach our hands up to the sky. Really kind of feel like you're lengthening through the side body, lengthening through the spine. And then twist over to the left. Bringing our right hand just to the top of our left knee and our left hand behind us just to guide us round. Breathing here, we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Trying to stay tall through the spine, so not leaning into that back hand. And then coming back to center, reaching up to the sky. Over to the other side. Nice deep breaths here. And then slowly bringing ourselves back to center. We'll bring our legs out in front of us and just curl yourself over your thighs, just to find that natural curve in the spine. Straightening yourself out. And then bringing ourselves up, reaching forward with our hands. We're going to lower ourselves down to lie down, nice and slow. Let's find that curve in the bottom of our spine. Lowering down inch by inch. When we get there, we're going to bring the knees into the chest. And we're going to come back into our little kind of rolls we were doing at the beginning of the class. So bringing your hands underneath your the backs of your knees, sorry. And then just finding that little kind of tuck and roll that we were doing at the beginning. So using that core, maybe it might be a little bit easier now we've warmed up. Okay. And then we're going to come into our shoulder stand. So for those that are happy and comfortable with shoulder stand, you can bring yourself into your shoulder stand. Now we've got our core nicely warmed up. For those who need a little bit of guidance, or if you don't want to come into shoulder stand for any reason, we can just have our legs in the air. That's absolutely fine. You can have a bend in the knees. You can even have a bit of support underneath your hips. If you want to have your hips elevated, can be quite nice. That's absolutely fine. For those who want to come into their shoulder stand, we really want to use those core muscles. So just getting that kind of rocking motion that we were doing just before. So bring your arms down by your side, palms facing down to the mat. And using your core, we're going to lift our hips up off the mat, bringing our hands to our back to support our back, and then slowly bringing our legs to upright. So if you need that again, bringing your hands down by your side, using your core, lifting your legs up, lifting your hips up, and then hands come to your back, slowly straightening up the legs. Breathing here. When you are ready to come down, we can just hinge at the hips, kind of bringing the legs up and over, curling the knees in towards the head, and then slowly lowering yourself back down. Just coming down whenever you are ready, trying to come down slowly with control. And stretching the legs out along the mat. When you have come down, just letting the body rest into the ground. Then we'll all bend up our knees. Let's squeeze our knees into the chest again. Taking a little rock and roll from side to side. Extending out our left leg, or squeezing our right knee in. And then we'll come into our twist. So bringing the right knee up and over. Let's shift our hips over to the right hand side as we come into our twist. And then bring our right arm out at shoulder height. Slowing down the breathing, maybe closing down the eyes. Just watching where we're holding any tension, seeing if we can release. And then slowly bringing yourself back through to center. Just shifting your hips back in line with your spine, squeezing both knees in. And stretching out the right leg, keeping a hold of the left. And then as we bring that left knee up and over, let's just shift our hips over to the left to help us come into our twist. Left arm comes out at shoulder height. Taking our gaze over towards our left fingertips. And again, maybe closing down the eyes, releasing any tension. Slowing down the breathing. When you are ready, bringing yourself back through to center. Let's shift our hips back in line and bring our feet back to our bridge position. So feet quite close to your sit bones, toes pointing forward, feet and knees hip distance apart. Let's bring our hands down by our sides, palms facing downwards. And let's take some bridges in your own time and really trying to get that pelvic tilt to begin with. Peeling the spine nice and slowly all the way up off the mat, up onto your shoulders, lifting the hips up high, really grounding down through your feet. And then slowly, slowly lowering back down. So just take it in your own time. We'll take a few rounds. Just winding down the body, using that core that we've worked so hard today. Slowing the movement right down just for our last couple of rounds. Really feeling each vertebra of your spine peeling off the mat and lowering back down. Keeping our legs strong and steady and really grounding down through all four corners of your feet. And then next time your hips lower down to the mat, just letting them rest, and we'll come into our Shavasana. So extending out both of your legs to the end of the mat, letting your feet just flop out to the side. And we can either have our hands on our belly here, or the hands straight out by the side. Let's bring the arms nice and wide if we have them straight, palms facing up towards the ceiling. And let's just nestle our shoulder blades together on the back of the mat. So we have a little opening in the chest and the top of our back can fully relax down. Let's take a nice big inhale when we're here. So really drawing all the air into the lungs, feeling the torso, feeling the rib cage expand. And exhaling out, maybe sighing it out. Fully releasing as we let go. And again, nice big inhale. And full exhale, sighing it out. Releasing, relaxing, letting go. One more. Biggest inhale we've done all day, filling up the lungs, filling up the chest, expanding the ribs. And nice long sigh out. Heavy, heavy, relaxing, releasing, letting your body fully melt as you exhale. And then just letting your breathing return to normal, but keeping your body heavy, relaxed, melting down. Closing the eyes, softening the face. Fully relaxing around your feet and your ankles. Just letting your feet flop out to the side. Releasing all around your lower leg, your calves, your shins. Around your knees and your thighs, your quads, your hamstrings. Releasing any tension and just letting both legs be heavy, be rested, be still. Releasing your glutes all around your hips. Let the whole lower half of your body just melt into the floor. Releasing around your lower back, your abdomen, your belly, All that core area we've been working so hard, fully relaxing. Letting all your spine just rest into the mat and all the muscles around your spine, releasing, softening, letting your shoulders just melt into the floor and letting your arms be heavy. Letting your fingers just naturally curl in towards your palm. Feeling all the points of contact with the earth and just softening down into them. Releasing around your neck. Releasing your jaw, all around your cheek muscles, your temples, your eyes, and softening your forehead. Letting your head feel really heavy. Letting your whole body feel really heavy. And then let's start taking a couple of deeper breaths. So bringing your focus back to your inhales and exhales. Breathing a bit more life into the body, nice and slowly, and starting to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then bringing yourself into your pencil stretch, waking yourself up, pointing out through the toes, reaching back with the hands. And then bringing your knees into your chest, squeezing them in, having a little rock from side to side. And then coming to rest on your left hand side in your little fetal position. A couple of deep breaths here, re-energizing. And then slowly making your way back up to seated, trying to keep your eyes closed as we make our way back up. Once we are there, grounding down through our sit bones, and then lengthening up through our spine, using that core to lengthen, to find space, to sit up nice and tall. Finding length in the back of the neck, so maybe just bringing the chin down to meet the chest. Lifting the shoulders up to the ears, pulling them back and down. And then bringing the hands together into our prayer position, blinking open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining.